George Russell's contract with Mercedes is still unsigned, and that's not by accident. His F1 future looks to be tied to another driver, Max Verstappen. Why is it taking so long for George Russell and Mercedes to sign a new contract? And how does Verstappen's future relate to George Russell's future? Russell's current contract goes until the end of this year. In any normal year, it would be an absolute no-brainer to re-sign him for the future. He's outperformed Hamilton in the majority of his and Hamilton's time together at Mercedes. He's stepped up as Mercedes' clear number one driver, and he's showing that he's a really great all-around package. He's absolutely having no mercy on the rookie Antonelli, and he's in peak form, maybe his best form since joining Formula One. One of the saving graces for George Russell not having a contract yet is that this is very normal for Mercedes. They often wait until around the summer break or after or during the summer break to announce new contracts and to really finalize anything. It's happened quite a lot over their history, particularly with Bottas over the past years that he was there. So it's really not uncommon for this to happen. So maybe it is just a matter of timing than anything for Mercedes. So if he's performing so well and it's not due to any normal timing that Mercedes does with contract, why has there been such a delay with George Russell, since it seems like such a no-brainer to re-sign him? Really, the only reason that Russell's seat would be in question is if somebody like Max Verstappen were to come onto the market. The rumor mill surrounding Verstappen's contract is that there is a break clause, but he has to be around maybe second or third in the championship by around the summer break for that to be broken. We don't know for certain if it's before, during, or after, but it seems like there is some type of break clause there that could be enacted if he were to be lower down the championship order. If that is the case, then we might have to wait a little bit to around the summer break for Verstappen's contract to potentially be broken if that's what he wanted to do. So why would Verstappen even want to leave Red Bull? I mean, they've had some dominant years recently, and while they aren't exactly the best team, best in form right now, they still are right up there at the front end of the grid. And Verstappen, while his championship hopes this year are starting to dwindle, he has been thereabouts, and it's a great team that's still there despite some of the people that have left over time. But one of the major reasons for Verstappen potentially maybe wanting to leave is all of the ongoing instability at Red Bull, between the Horner scandal, internal tensions, just the Horner ousting, of course, Adrian Newey leaving, and just the general exodus of people that are leaving Red Bull. That definitely doesn't create a lot of promise for Verstappen going forward. Also, of course, there has been a performance decline. Like I mentioned, they still have been pretty competitive, but they aren't exactly dominating like they were in 2023. Mercedes in particular could be of interest to Verstappen because they are rumored to have the best engine for 2026. Now, of course, no one, not even Mercedes, knows who will have the best engine in 2026, given no cars have actually run on track. But that is the rumor mill, and of course Mercedes does have quite a good track record with these turbo hybrid engines going into a new formula. So given some of those really crazy reasons and crazy things going on in the world of Formula One, it's very possible that Verstappen might want to leave. There have been a lot of rumors linking Verstappen to Mercedes all the way back in 2024, and of course by mid 2025 they've been really louder than ever. Mercedes, in particular Toto Wolff, has really admired Max Verstappen over the years, and it's one of his biggest regrets is that he didn't sign Verstappen back in the day. So of course Mercedes and Toto Wolff really would love to have him on their team. Right now Max Verstappen has a lot of power in his hands. He has really all of the cards in his hand, and he really gets to control the fate of himself and George Russell. On the other hand, Russell has limited options. If Mercedes were to sign Max Verstappen, George Russell would likely be the odd man out. Merck has really put all of their eggs into the Antonelli basket, and it's really hard to envision them really dropping Antonelli after 1 year. They've invested a ton in him. They want him to succeed. They see him probably as the future and as the next Max Verstappen. So why would they drop him after just 1 year? I know he hasn't been performing maybe the best or maybe up to the expectations that people were putting on him this year, but it would be hard to see them dropping Antonelli. What's also tough for Russell's negotiating point of view is that he doesn't really have a better alternative. Red Bull really wouldn't pair Verstappen and Russell. That would create way too much drama. They really want a clear number one and number two driver. And really, the only person that Merck would sign over Russell, anyways, at the moment is Verstappen. I don't think Russell would leave for any other reason. And of course, no other top team really has a seat available for 2026. McLaren is currently locked in. Ferrari look to be locked in for at least the next couple of years. And of course, that seems like quite the questionable team, as always, to go to, anyways. And then going beyond that, there's no guarantee that any other team like Aston Martin is going to be that great in 2026. So it's really tough for Russell's negotiating point of view, because he just doesn't have that many options. He's really just stuck in a holding pattern, waiting to see what happens with Verstappen. So what is my prediction? What do I think is the most likely outcome? I think both drivers are going to stay put for 2026. That really gives Verstappen time to evaluate the new pecking order in 2026. If Mercedes ends up nailing the 2026 car and Red Bull maybe falters, or maybe Mercedes is just that good, then we could see a swap happen for 2027. In the meantime, Mercedes and really Verstappen as well hold all of the cards. Russell wants to stay at Mercedes. That's a no-brainer for him. They're in no particular rush to re-sign him. They can take their time, and they can take that time because they want to wait to commit until Verstappen's future is a bit more clear. So the George Russell contract delay isn't about his performance. It's really about the Verstappen wild card. If Max doesn't move, then George stays at Mercedes. But if Mercedes has a chance to sign the current best driver in Formula One, then they're going to go for Max Verstappen. Despite Russell's great performances and the level that he's performing at, his seat isn't exactly safe if Verstappen does come onto the market for real. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Will we see a swap happen in 2026 or 2027? Or is it really realistically not going to happen? Would love to hear your thoughts down below. Don't forget to give the video a like and a subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications when I release more content. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.